Program Director, Councillor Roslyn Griev, members of the Mayoral Committee, fellow councillors, officials of the City of Johannesburg, our stakeholders, the business community, the residents and users of the space. I think it is appropriate that we started the program, and our entertainment package was primarily our young people, because we need to build public spaces that are accessible to our young people. Our youth need to be able to celebrate these spaces, enjoy them, and feel that they can access the city in its different form and the different amenities available in the city. The redevelopment of Bruma Lake itself and its surroundings is directly linked to our Joburg 2040 strategy. When we announced the Joburg 2040 strategy, we indicated that we would want to ensure that we build a city that is livable, sustainable, and resilient. Resilient to shocks and challenges, resilient to economic hardships, resilient to aging infrastructure and its capacity to rehabilitate this. But also a city that is sustainable. Excuse me. A city that's able to use its natural resources and assets in a manner that is able to meet the needs of current and future generations. A city that understands that its rivers, its waterways, its natural environments are an asset that need to be protected and enhanced. And when we say it should be livable, we're talking about a city where all can enjoy the amenities of urbanization and urban life. The amenities in a city environment where you can gain access to employment, social, cultural, economic, and other opportunities, with residential opportunities in close proximity to where you would have parks, lakes, rivers, where you'd have libraries, where you'd have adequate transport facilities that bring you into close proximity to other amenities that many people join the urban system for, which is the benefits of agglomeration in an urban environment, the benefits of being part of a concentrated center where many things and activities are in close proximity to each other. We have been engaged in discussions for some time with stakeholders in and around the Bruma Lake area about how we invest in the redevelopment of Bruma Lake and what are the potential approaches to the redevelopment of Bruma Lake. Taking into account that the area has evolved, that the number of people that occupy these spaces, both upstream but also along the river and downstream, has increased significantly and therefore requires a rethink of the spaces and the pressures that we're likely to encounter. Our reality is that we're in an environment where Bruma Lake served as a litter trap, but also had to accommodate a lot of affluent that came from upstream that affected and impacted on the area, and thus causing an environment that's not accessible, an environment that's highly polluted, and one that is very difficult for people to live in and around. So we said to ourselves, engaging with our stakeholders, what then can we do? And three options were put forward. Amongst those would have been to maintain the lake as it was, with the complications that come with it, because the reality of the lake comes with the reality that it had to play different roles at different points. So maintaining it as it was would have been to invest a lot of money only to have to come back later to invest the same amount of resources, resolving the problems that would have been generated upstream, impacted on by developments that are taking place, and the growth of our city and the residents of our city. So the option that was agreed to is one that said, how do we maintain, accepting that it constitutes part of the ecosystem of Johannesburg, the river system that is part of Bruma. You would know that not too far from here would be the spring that essentially starts the system that goes down the XK. So if that is where it starts, you cannot prevent it from being there. You have to accommodate it and recreate the natural environment for the river to be able to flow and to become a tributary of the overall river systems that we have in the city of Johannesburg. But it would also need to introduce recreational spaces and park environments in a manner that creates longer-term sustainability for the area. But we also accepted that it should be an opportunity to invest in a nodal development point. And I think it is encouraging that our business community came this morning and afternoon, because we started in the morning and it's now afternoon, came this morning and afternoon and said, as a result of the investments of the city of Johannesburg and the initiatives that have been undertaken for the rehabilitation of the Bruma Lake area, we have seen and witnessed the redevelopment of the hotel. We have seen interest as presented for the redevelopment of the square that would now be the Cllr. And one of the things that was said about the Cllr, which wasn't said by the Prof, was that it would also have iconic towers that represent what the area is about. So it would be a destination for people. It would be a place that's accessible to people. It would be a place that creates opportunities for residential, hotel, recreational, commercial, and other uses. It would interface directly with Cllr and other areas, including Kensington, and be part of the overall redevelopment of this area as a critical node in the city of Johannesburg. It constitutes part of the work that we're doing as we are pursuing the Louis Botha corridor, and part of the area that's covered by the Louis Botha corridor of the BRT is the